Oh.
You didn't know around the corner, but let's are cheaper.
One of the things that she had advised was that we get rid of the TV.
Aldi baby wipes are like toddlers.
I felt really bad. I could have helped him more, but I ignored a prompting. Hello! And welcome to the Here We Raise podcast.
Hi, it's good to be back.
It's great to be back. Second episode.
It is.
Made it past the first one.
I know, it's a good feeling, and I sound really nasally actually. My hoodie's squishing my face. Is everyone ready for the big reveal? And it's not even because we're in Scotland.
A ginger beard.
Can everybody see that? Oh, you can probably hear that.
Yeah, you can hear it actually.
Ginger, dark hair, dark, ginger.
That's so funny, isn't it?
I know.
There's not even like a little transition into it. It's just one colour and then the next.
So we've been having lots of late nights recently, which everyone with kids will understand because, I mean, you probably can't tell with Alex. She can hide it well, but I can't hide it as well.
Well, I can hide it well because I can actually wear makeup.
Right.
So my concealer is pretty cheap, but it is bright and I've put a lot of it on today. Oh my gosh, I've never felt so dead because of these kids.
I think it's been 3 nights in a row where it's been about midnight, hasn't it? We've gone to sleep.
I bet people think we're so weak, but this is no lie. We have always been early to bed, early to rise, even before we had kids. Now, some people might think that is boring, but I'm telling you now, sleep is good. Take it. Absolutely take it. At 9:30, I'm ready for bed. I don't care. You can judge me. I'm in the bed and I'm asleep within 45 minutes. Actually, it takes me a while to get to sleep. But that's why you should go to bed early. If it takes you a while to go to sleep, get to bed early. But we actually made it. We made it for New Year's.
Yeah, which is the first time since we've been married, so 7.5 years.
Yeah.
We've never seen midnight on New Year's because I can't be bothered.
But guaranteed, every New Year's Eve, it gets to about 10 o'clock and we're like, oh, let's get to bed. Because what's the point? What's the difference between 10 and midnight?
I think one year we even went on YouTube and just put a countdown on like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, from the year before.
10, 9, 8, 7, all the way down.
Yeah. Well, that's just how we roll.
Generally speaking, people get more boring as they get older.
No.
No.
Don't say that. No, we don't. Well, that means we've been boring from the start because people have always said we're boring because we go to bed early. So how does that build when we start hitting,
I don't know. Say if we start
30s,
off boring,
40s, 50s, 60s.
What happens when you're at
Maybe you actually get more fun.
Yeah, we'll be staying up late and partying and...
Well, I think I've realised since having kids is that I'm not actually that cool.
I think you're cool.
I'm
Don't
not.
put yourself down.
I'm not. I get reminded of that. Do you see the looks I get from the kids sometimes? I come in dancing, they've got Disney music on, I come in dancing and the looks are... And she's 3, he's 5, and they already know. They already know that that's not cool.
That reminds me actually of me like dancing in the car. So the kids are sat behind me. I don't know how I can work this with the camera. Kids are sat behind me. I'm like, song's on. Daddy? Yeah? Can you stop? Yeah?
The best one is, Mummy, can you just stop singing it?
Burnt like a 3-year-old.
I just like singing along to some Coco Melon. Wait, is that what it's called?
We hate Coco Melon.
We had it on today, you know.
Oh.
We never listened to Coco Melon. We are against Coco Melon. I think it's just brainwashing kids.
It's like ice and sugar on supermarket bought cakes. You just eat it and it's like...
Oh, nothing's wrong with that. You're like, yeah, whatever. Homemade cakes. And the ring comes off. No, we don't like Coco Melon, but I don't know what happened today. The car just started playing Coco Melon. I didn't actually put it on, but it was the song called I Can Sing a Rainbow. You know, it's the normal song, I Can Sing a Rainbow.
Right, okay.
That one. Well, it started playing and the first thing our middle child said is, why are they saying they can sing rainbows? Rainbows don't sing. And I was just like, it's just the song. And then they go through all the colours. She's like, I think they got the colours wrong. And actually, they didn't, but I think they had changed it. Indigo and violet. I thought I used to sing purple and something else. I don't even know the colours of the rainbow.
There is one thing that me and Alex like to do when we are tired, just, put a smile on our faces, and we've called it the resting face game. And any other parents out there will understand that you just have to put on a bit of a face in the day when you're so dead. So what we do is, if everyone gets comfortable, let me sort myself out here. So what you do is it feels like during the day you've got something here, like the puppet strings, but you just have to let your face go relax. Okay, so here's mine. This is what my face is trying to get to right now.
This is where you want to be. The eyes closed.
They're actually closed today.
No, we never really get to the point where the eyes are actually closed. Okay, I'm going to try and do my one, but I think I'm actually going to start laughing. I can't, because it's on camera. I don't feel like I can do it.
Turn and show the people how
hold on.
lovely you'll look.
3, 2, 1. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't actually hold it.
Can we have it again, please? I need it one more time.
My eyes are streaming. Hold on, let me just go for another one.
Can't do it again. So yeah, there's your resting face game, everyone. So
it's fun to do though. I think the best way to do it is actually when you're not intending. You just walk into a room and he just says to me, "Where's your face trying to get to?" It actually makes you feel better about being tired because you're both battling through it. You're both actually battling through the same thing. And we have a baby at the minute who I'm pretty confident has an ear infection, so she's just up all night. I very rarely have to ask you for help during the night, but last night I needed help. It's like, please just have her for like an hour. I'd been sat with her for like 4 hours. I just thought I just can't actually.
Big up to the mums out there.
Night shifts are hard. Night shifts are really, really difficult, but we do it. We've never had kids that sleep through. Our kids still wake up now, and that's 5 years on. How do people give birth to these humans that sleep through after 6 weeks? I want to know.
I know, what's the secret?
I have never experienced it ever. When do they start sleeping through? Someone said to me the other day that theirs didn't start sleeping through till like, did they say 11? It was at church,
wasn't it? Till they didn't get a proper night's sleep till they were 11. But hopefully we're not.
Don't tell me that.
We shouldn't be at that point, should we?
I hope not. Oh my gosh. Do you know winter is the worst though? Winter is the worst for kids being sick, being poorly all the time, giving you your germs when you don't want it. Then you're poorly, everyone's tired, it's dark outside. What is the point in winter? What is actually the point?
Everyone getting poorly. You've just got a massive fear of sicky bugs, haven't you?
Oh my gosh. I am petrified every year. What is it called? Norovirus? You know, you see it on the news, like...
Shh. She might be listening.
Don't.
Nora.
No. Come out.
I'd have to give it a nice name like Nora. That's like a cute little
I think it's actually Noro.
Oh.
Oh, that sounded so bad in my accent.
Noro.
Oh, might have to cut that bit, but anyway.
Quick mention of super dry hoodies. They are so yummy delicious and definitely the best hoodies ever.
They are the best. They're the best quality and they're really comfy and they look cool. We're not representing super dry. You know,
Kudos to super dry.
We've got like 20 followers on Instagram, so we're definitely not we're definitely not repping anyone here, but super dry, we like you.
Yeah, just big and comfy, and I'm sure I've got one that I've had for about 7 years and it still looks decent.
Yeah, it does. Oh, I'm saying it because I wear it.
Yeah, I was going to say I hardly wear them because Alex.
This is why I like
them.
super dry hoodies, because he had super dry hoodies and now I get to wear them.
James, I got you a new super dry hoodie for your birthday.
Why
or
is it?
Christmas.
Why is it pink?
You wouldn't even have pink, would you? Just
no.
You'd probably actually buy the men's hoodies if
I'm
you
not.
could, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
just
I'm
because
not.
they're bigger and baggier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you have to go 3 sizes up for a hoodie to get it where you want it to be. You know where it's like, hug me and comfort me throughout the day while I'm battling with my children. You go 3 sizes up for that. You do not go a size down.
I did see Alex today when I had this nice new one on that I got for Christmas. I just saw Alex looking at me like this. I was like, oh, darling, thank you. That's really cool. I was just looking at the Superdry logo, James.
Plus, we've got an outlet close-ish, and they've always got offers on.
If you didn't know, and if you didn't know around the corner, outlets are cheaper.
I swear this episode is just going to sound like I've got the giggles. You know, when I am so tired, I just laugh at anything and everything. But that was genuinely funny. And I just can't help it and I can't stop. And we need to stop because my eyes are streaming, which will affect my vision and my makeup.
Does anybody else get that? I think we hit like, I don't even know, like a happy hour when we're brushing teeth and it all of a sudden becomes the most hilarious thing.
Yeah, why is that? And it's even funnier because our bathroom is like the smallest thing in the world. You can just about fit both of us like in the bathroom, but you can't like be side by side by the sink, can you? And everything's just so funny. That bathroom is just a funny place.
Should actually have a quick mention about who does the best baby wipes.
I think it's Tesco.
Tesco.
I think Tesco do the best baby wipes.
Like just the Tesco.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried.
Has anybody seen a pack of baby wipes the size of a loaf of bread?
Best baby wipes, I think, are Tesco, like the non-branded ones. We never pay for like the branded ones, but my mum does get me the occasional Johnsons or I don't know, Mum. What's the other one? Huggies.
Or like one that looks like water wipes or something. But Aldi baby wipes are like, I feel like they're like toddlers.
What do you mean?
Like they're just so disagreeable and annoying and don't give you what you want when you need it. So when you're like, you know, when you go to change your baby's bum and you open up the surprise and it's like, quick, Aldi, your nappies, help me. They're like, no.
What do you want me to do about it?
Come here, quick, I need to pull one out. No. Well, just give me one. How about I give you 10? And then you're there with this like brick of wipes and you're just trying to wipe a poor little baby and the baby's there like...
I don't think I've ever experienced actually just getting one wipe out.
This is why it looks like a magician's sleeve with the flags. Just want one wipe, please. Because they're all stuck together.
Oh my gosh, I've laughed way too much on this episode. Let's actually try and talk about something useful. So in October...
3-4 months ago?
Yeah. We decided to get rid of our TV.
So our eldest son has an autism diagnosis. How would you summarise our oldest son in terms of severity? Probably sits somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, well, to be honest, when he got his diagnosis, that's pretty much what they said. They didn't like say exactly where he was on the spectrum, but...
They just said he was middling. And we were like, okay.
Yeah.
Inside like, okay, what does that mean? But anyway.
What does that actually mean? And he has always loved his TV. Like... most children would do, you know, whether you've got autism or not. Kids just like screens, don't they, really? Well, why wouldn't you? But
and he's always loved screens, hasn't he, since he was about...
Oh, gosh, like...
I say screens, I mean, like, films and stuff like that.
The very little language I would say that he had was actually coming from the TV.
Reciting quotes and phrases or bits of songs from... films and so forth. Which
some people could say then actually in some ways it looked like the TV was producing some sort of usefulness for him as well, because this is talking years ago now. Like he used to be able to, I would say, sometimes express emotion through parts of the TV. So I'm sure most of you will be familiar with Teletubbies. And at the end of Teletubbies, they say, time for Tubby bye-bye, time for Tubby bye-bye. And when he used to feel upset about something or someone leaving the house, he would then say, time for Tubby bye-bye, time for Tubby bye-bye. Oh. And he'd get quite sad, like, you know, emotional. And that was a way of him being able to express those emotions without using independent words, but still being able to tell us how he was feeling at the time. So you could say that the TV looked like it was providing some good. Yeah. Recently, last year, we started working with a lady called Kate Wilde. She is the author of quite a few books. She has been working in the field of kids with autism and adults with autism for, I think, 30 years. Is that right? I think 30 years. And working with her made a massive difference in multiple ways for our eldest. But one of the things that she had advised was that we get rid of the TV, which was quite daunting. And funny enough, I think we felt beforehand, before she'd mentioned it, that it was something that we would like to try. But would you say that I don't feel like we felt like we had the capacity to actually do it?
Yeah, because the position the TV was taking in the home was almost like our son really enjoyed watching it. It was a bit of an outlet for him. And also it was like a management outlet in terms of managing the kids' needs. So like you play with the kids and then it's like dinner needs to be made. You go and try and make dinner and it's like you all of a sudden become the best climbing frame going and there's kids crawling up, and you've got hot pans and ovens and it's just not conducive to having kids. So you just think, right, put the TV on, put film on, whatever program, and then they'll be entertained out of the way and I can crack on with doing what I actually know we need to do that. But it just never really worked because what happened was, I guess now we've discovered what was happening was they'd almost become overstimulated or oversaturated doing that and then come and find us anyway to change it, rewind it, it'd just get them riled up or whatever, and it actually had the adverse effect to what we were using it for in that situation.
Yeah, and like Kate had sort of explained before, you could have the TV on for like 45 minutes, but then actually you're probably going to have 2 hours of grief after, like the come down period of like actually craving more, especially around dinner time. We noticed that if the TV was on, and we'd noticed this before we got rid of the TV, didn't we? If the TV was on before dinner time was actually a really stressful time. Like trying to get them to the dinner table, especially him, trying to get him to the dinner table felt like impossible because I think he was just so hooked on wanting to actually sit and watch more. Anyway, we got rid of it and the difference was like...
Yeah, it was pretty magic as a
crazy.
Single, amongst other things that Kate advised us to do, as like a single, easily understood thing that anyone could understand to do. We did it and the results have been really cool.
I remember the night before we actually got rid of the TV. I remember I couldn't sleep. I was really, really nervous about doing it and thinking, and I remember saying to myself, right, if we can just make it 2 weeks, like let's actually just try and make it 2 weeks and see how it goes. And I had to sort of break it up like that to make it feel like it was manageable. But now we're 3-4 months in. It's like we will never get a TV again.
It almost seems like I don't know where we'd fit it in, as silly as that sounds.
Yeah, because the days just seem so busy and they entertain themselves now.
Yeah.
And he absolutely loves looking through books. He's always had a love for books, but now it's like on another level. It's like if he has spare time and he wants to do something that is entertaining, he will choose a book. He'll ask us to read a book or he'll happily go and just look through books by himself. But I feel like I can't express enough how amazing it's been. Like no matter what I say, I don't know if people actually believe me, but it has been miraculous. Yeah. Miraculous, simply the best. But it has actually been a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, I'd say he interacted better with his siblings, hasn't he? With his sisters. And not only that did he react better to them wanting to interact with him, but he actually would seek the interaction as well.
He was motivated.
Like he actually wants to play with them. It's not just like they're just, pull him into one of their games. Like he'll engage with them.
And a lot of situations that he would find difficult or stressful, like going to the supermarkets, going to the shops. I'd say he still has, he still finds it challenging, doesn't he? But I think just removing...
It's calmed
him down
a lot, yeah. So I guess we spoke a bit about taking the TV out of the equation. Our eldest son has autism. How would you explain, Alex, like the story of how it all started?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Like what made us even think that he might have autism?
This was quite difficult, I think, actually from the start. But when our eldest was about 1 year old, I just noticed that he wasn't saying any words, which I know people say, like, they just come on when they come on, and, you know.
I'd point out he was progressing.
He was progressing.
As far as me and you, typically. Till
Yeah,
then.
I mean, like, if you look back through all of his, notes from health visitors and stuff, they talk about milestones, don't they? And he was reaching every single one of those milestones, probably up until he hit about 13 months. Now, the difficulty with this as well was when he was 13 months was January 2020. So it was right at the start of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, it was just coming round, wasn't it?
We noticed that he sort of went backwards, so he stopped responding to his name. That was probably the first thing, was that he wasn't responding to his name. Now, he did used to have ear infections, and we wondered whether it was actually to do with ear infections. So he was progressing fine, and then it sort of seemed like he was actually going in reverse. So we got him into speech and language therapy. But again, it was during the pandemic. It just took a while to go through that process. Once he was in speech and language therapy, we were doing, different exercises, like doing Makaton with him and all that stuff, we started to notice that actually his eye contact wasn't great. So they were teaching me, or us, signs. But the difficulty was actually getting him to look at the signs we were doing for him to then learn the signs. Yep. How can you learn a sign if you're not looking at the person that's showing you what the sign is? He just seemed like he was very much in his own world for a lot of his sort of like late baby, early toddler stage. And then we got referred to, after I spoke to the speech therapist and just said that I had some concerns about his eye contact and stuff, they referred us to the Child Development Centre, CDC. And then they just sort of did like observations and stuff then. But I think as the years went on, and probably more his language than anything wasn't really progressing, his eye contact wasn't really improving, and he was just generally in his own space.
Yeah, I like the word aloof. Just seemed like almost just like not fully aware or not completely involved in what was going on.
So I'd say fairly early on, we wondered, I wouldn't say we were very confident at the early stages, but we wondered if he had autism. From the research we'd done and my own experiences with people that I know that have got autism, I wondered if, that was a possibility. And then he started nursery. And
that was quite good for him, actually.
It was. I was really excited for him to start nursery because I was hopeful that socialising with other children in a new environment would only help him.
Yeah, like give him. I think what we've always tried to think was like how to push him in a way that's gonna help him expand his capabilities without crushing him.
Yeah, pushing him in a loving way.
Yeah, so nursery was a great way to do that because it would push him to socialise, and at the end of the day, he's going to live in a world where he needs to be able to interact with people. So, he can't always just stay in our pockets, can he? And eventually we'll get old and boring.
No, if we're not already old and boring.
Yeah, if we're not already there. Because we can't be there holding his hand forever. I don't think he'd want that either. No,
and he actually loved nursery from the start as well, which was actually really cool. But anyway, CDC would come and like observe him in nursery, and he had an amazing TA back in his previous school when he started, who just put so much love and thought and effort into helping him. Like, she was an angel, like an actual angel from heaven. And actually, I'm going to go on something, I'm staying on topic, but I'm going to go on something else. She actually was the person that gave us the book that was called The Autism Language Launcher, hoping that it would help with our eldest. And because of that, because she gave us that book, we ended up working with Kate Wilde, who is the author of that book. Years later, I'm very confident that that's not a coincidence. There's no way that that's a coincidence, because his biggest progression has been since we worked with Kate. Wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. Easily, that's the biggest progression. And just with how everything sort of aligned with how we ended up working with Kate. Like, we got the book from her, so we read the book, loved the book, thought that everything that Kate was saying was true and was working from the stuff that we were using from the book. Then a few years later, I ended up entering a giveaway. Won. Who wins giveaways? No one wins giveaways. I don't normally win giveaways, but won the giveaway. Managed to go on a course with Kate and with Ron, who's someone that she works with, who's also works with children and adults that have autism and their parents and etc. And after taking that course, really felt like we would benefit from working with her.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just another confirmation that nothing is a coincidence. Like, I know that Heavenly Father knew that we needed to work with Kate eventually. And, you know, whether she knew it or not, she was the reason that happened. And that was because she must have been following some sort of divine
Influence.
Influence, that's it, as well.
Because I think probably one of the hardest things about getting a diagnosis is being like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And that isn't, it seems that other people have had quite a similar experience in the sense that, you know, you can get a diagnosis and then it just feels a bit like, now what? Like, what am I supposed to do? And it did kind of feel like that because
Definitely.
we've been getting bits of help here and there, but it didn't really seem to be doing very much.
I remember how I felt when he first got his diagnosis, because I think at that point, when he did get it, we were pretty confident. At the age that he was at, he was 3. And I remember at that point feeling pretty confident that, yeah, he did have autism. But then when you go into the room and they say, your child has autism, I remember like blanking and feeling like I felt quite emotional, but I don't know why, because I already knew. Like, I already knew deep down that that's what it was, but it was like someone telling you. And then it did kind of feel like, here's that bit of information and good luck.
So we were obviously in the blessed position to be able to get some help privately.
Yeah.
I guess what would you advise, Alex, to somebody perhaps that is looking to work with autistic people but obviously don't have the means to afford to get in, you know, one-to-one tuition? I'd say you can get some good books. There are a lot of really good books
There's
out there.
There's loads of good books. What's the book that you...
Okay, I'm reading a book at the minute by a lady called Temple Grandin, who is a lady who has an autism diagnosis. But she's just done loads of research into the origins of autism and how it impacts on the brain. And I mean, this is the book I've been reading, but it's looking at the biological markers as well as to autism and, you know, that whole world. They're trying to figure that out. So that's been quite good.
And even joining groups, Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Having other parents that are going through very similar situations. I think you can learn a lot from other parents.
Yeah.
Like 100% you can, especially with stuff that's, you know, you can have some quite unique situations, I would say, from our experiences anyway with autism. But actually just message, like, I messaged someone once on Instagram that has a child that has autism just for a bit of advice, and I think that's really beneficial. It's nice to feel like you've got a bit of a support system. I mean, our son is no way, he's not any sort of burden to us, is he? He's amazing. He's such a great child.
Yeah.
And there's actually so many positives that I think comes with autism. He has got a very unique ear for music. Like, it blows my mind. We will listen to like background music of like not shows.
Well, he likes the Julia Donaldson books, doesn't he?
Loves them.
Like Stickman, Gruffalo, Smith and Smooths, and so forth.
All those. And the other day we were in the car and he'd asked to listen to the music from Stickman. So, and it's just, obviously it's literally just like background music. That's all it is, isn't it? There's nothing else to it. And he knew when we went, when it was the last song, he knew that it was the last song, and he was asking us what he wanted to listen to next. I was like, how do you even know that was the last song?
Yeah.
It, like, they all sound exactly the same, but he knew that was the finale.
Mm.
So I feel like there's a lot of positives that come with having autism or having a child that's got autism as well. Obviously there's challenges, but there's challenges with any child, even if they don't have autism or
Yeah.
anything like that.
If you're going to do anything, because I think it's quite common that kids with autism can very easily get hooked on screens. And Kate was a really big advocate of this, and I feel like we are now. But really, like, if you want to help them, something you genuinely can do it is get rid of the screens. Just do it for 2 weeks and see how you get on.
And 3 months down the line, you'll be saying, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah. So,
But even if your child doesn't have autism, I would recommend doing that, because kids, I think, just can get hooked on screens anyway. Can get hooked on the TV, like you know, Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig is a right nightmare. These little short, whatever they're called, short episodes where it's just like wanting them to just crave more. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's not actually worth it. Your life will be a lot better if you just do it. But it can be scary, but just do it.
If anybody wants to reach out through socials or anything and ask us any questions, if we get a chance, I'm sure we'll be happy to shoot back a message.
Send us a DM.
Yeah.
Oh, I would like saying DMs. I'm not cool enough to say DMs.
Is it direct message?
Yes.
It is.
No, you are making us sound so old.
Is it a direct message?
Yeah, it's a direct message.
Oh yeah, slide into the direct message. I'm just kidding. Slide into the DMs.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, if anyone wants any, like, we are not experts at all, are we? I do feel like I've learnt so much from Kate, and I'm sure on other episodes we'll talk more about
things we learned and what we'll do.
Yeah, things we've learned, and you know, just autism in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big, what's the word?
It's a big subject.
Yeah.
You know, it's a spectrum, isn't it? So, no one with an autism diagnosis is the same as the other. It's very diverse. So.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll cover it more on further future episodes. Why did I say it like that? What a weirdo. Anyway.
You're a fit one.
Oh,
anyway.
It's because I'm wearing super dry, you know. Please sponsor us.
So today was the first day going back to work after Christmas.
So depressing.
It's you just like, regardless of whether or not you love what you do for work, it's just that first day back. It's just like, for me, it just is always a bit like you just got to get back into that rhythm of working, and it just feels like the day's so long and blah blah blah.
I hate it too. Like, just going out with the kids, like, we're on our way to Tesco, I'm like, car journeys are now boring because I'm listening to his Disney music. I'm getting Q&As from the 3-year-old in the background. I feel like whenever I'm in the car with her, it's like you're on one of those Vogue interviews where it's like 100 questions with whoever it is or whatever. It's like, anyway, I missed you in the car today.
Yeah, car time becomes quite precious, actually, doesn't it? They can sleep and they're strapped in so they can't touch me.
Yeah, stay in your seats.
Yeah, don't touch me.
That's true. I feel like our best conversations are in the car and on the podcast.
Although I do prefer driving than sitting in the passenger seat in the front.
Why? Are you saying I'm a bad driver?
I cannot. No, not at all.
Oh, I'm a good driver. I actually drive more than you.
I'm practicing my office looks at the camera, to have my little, yeah, like, you're a great driver.
Oh, The Office. We should watch
American Office.
We should watch The American Office again. I've been seeing clips of it on Instagram. Anyway, we're going off topic.
It does, and because I do work from home at the moment, I work from home permanently.
I'm laughing.
Kids just know where to find me.
And no matter how many times, I say, Daddy's working, because he works in their bedroom, you've set up like an office space there. No matter how many times I tell them to, they'll find a way to sneak out. And I cannot be the bodyguard outside of that room. It just does not work. So I just let them go sometimes.
Yeah, most of the time they're really good, but sometimes you're like, when you're like, I can see that like maths meme now. You're like 2, 5, 6, 1. Daddy, yeah, can I sit on your knee? What?
And they just want to bash your keyboard.
Yeah. When the baby comes in, she's just like
at the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not practical, is it? But again, you used to work from home when we lived in a house, and I think because you were upstairs, that was way easier.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it's all on one level here, so They can just very easily walk into their bedroom.
This is actually something I can talk about for hours.
Go on.
His furniture is not made for people over 6 feet tall.
Do you know how many times I've heard this since we've been married?
Oh my word. It just pains my long, long spine. That's all I'll say.
No, go on,
Otherwise,
you can carry on. Carry on complaining for all those
this is a safe space.
for all those fellow 6 foot pluses. Do you know what? High cupboards aren't made for people that are 5'4". You hide things up on the
5'3".
I'm not 5'3". Okay, so disclaimer. For my entire life, not my entire life, but for the time when I stopped growing, I've always told people that I'm 5'5", because I thought I was 5'5". Never did I ever think I was lying about my height. But when I got pregnant with our second child, they measured me, and she said I was 5'4", and I thought she was a liar, so I ignored her. Then I get pregnant again with our third child, and I get measured again, and I'm also 5'4". So I decide to measure myself, and I am
5'3".
5'4". So I feel cheated because I don't know. 5'5" just sounds nice. It just
5'5".
flows.
55.
55 doesn't sound as good, but 5'5", 5'5". It just sort of, you know. So I'm actually 5'4". So to all those people that I said I was 5'5", I'm sorry. I lied. Didn't know it, but I did. And I'm 5'4". There you go. I feel better now.
I've got that off your chest.
No, I have. Yeah. I mean, I did well in my family.
So your grandma is on your mum's side is from Italy.
Yep.
And your granddad is from Bangladesh on that side.
Mm-hmm.
And how tall's your nana?
4'8", I think.
Was she 4'9"?
4'9".
She's tidgy. She's so, but she's like a little.
She is feisty.
She's like a little pit bull, isn't she?
She is feisty.
She's feisty.
You do not want to mess with Nana. If you mess with me and she finds out, I'm telling you, that is it. You will see a very little 4'9" Italian go crazy.
She is in my mind a stereotypical Italian grandma. Like,
Mange.
Tries to feed you.
Yeah.
Like wants to fuss you.
Yeah.
But if you cross her, she'll slap you silly.
She'll get you with that flip flop. I'm telling you now. She will get you with that flip flop.
I always wonder what that flip flop shaped crater was in the side of your face.
Anyway, yeah, but so today I'm 5'4". I did all right.
Yeah, you're a giant. Which was really funny. The first time I met Nana, it was just so funny because I'm over 6 feet, and like when I go to give her a hug, it's like I'm picking up a little baby off the floor. Bless her. I remember her saying like, "You give me some height, you give it to me.
Give some to me. Give some to me."
Bless her. So this past Sunday at church, I gave a talk, which basically means periodically we get a chance to speak or give like a discourse or how people understand like a speech at church, and it's usually set on a specific topic. And the one that I wanted to give this last Sunday was about taking risks, and I've just been thinking a lot recently about taking risks and how it relates to the gospel. Something that made me think of was during COVID, it was so strange to see so many people line up outside of a supermarket for the first time, and it was a bit like
that was weird.
A bit of like apocalyptic, like end of the worldy vibey sort of thing. It was really odd and bizarre. And then I remember hearing somebody say that we're only 9 meals away from anarchy, and it's so true, isn't it? Like I remember a colleague at work, because everyone's really stressed, weren't they? I remember a colleague at work saying that he saw people literally fighting in the supermarket over a bag of nappies because everyone's just super, super wound up about stuff. Anyway, so it just got me thinking that, life is actually a risk, even in our, blessed Western society of like, if I need some food, I just pop to the supermarket, or if I need some fuel for the car or electricity or whatever it is, it's just all so easily accessible. It just made me think that life is a risk, and we have to learn how to take risks appropriately. And from a gospel point of view, it's about having faith in Jesus Christ, and that for me is what has been a leading factor in how I make decisions, and that sometimes to follow Jesus Christ, we have to take risks. I mean, even choosing to follow Jesus Christ rather than, I don't know, a politician, a celebrity, or teachings, or philosophies, or science that you may hear being taught, etc., etc. You know, we're all putting our faith in something, and we choose to put our faith in Jesus Christ. You know, that is our risk that we are taking. But I feel like through a lifetime of trying to be like him and keep his teachings and things, I've noticed how well my life has been and how at peace I feel. And so yeah, I guess sometimes we have to take risks in life, but that is definitely one that people should take.
I think what's funny about you using the word risk is that I would perceive risk as something that is considered negative, even though it's not, is it? Because you can take the risk and it can turn out amazing. But if you say it's a risk, sometimes it kind of sounds like could go the opposite way, like it could be something that's negative. But actually, like you said, like if you sort of rephrase it and actually say faith as well, because that's very similar, that it then all of a sudden becomes a positive.
Yeah.
Instead of a negative.
And I think something I will say that you can go a step further than is now it doesn't feel like a risk, because I know that Heavenly Father can speak to us through His Holy Spirit. So God can speak to us and actually confirm things to us that are true and that are not true. So yeah, at the beginning we may have faith and think, right, these teachings that I hear about Jesus Christ in the Bible or the Book of Mormon or wherever sound good, I'm going to try them out. Like, that's where you can start, just thinking that, you know, you want to try these things and you want to believe them, that they're true, and that's a great starting place. And as you progress, you grow in understanding. I mean, there's a really awesome chapter in the Book of Mormon, if any of you have ever picked up a copy. In it, there's a book called Alma, and in chapter 32 it talks all about faith and does a really nice analogy of how faith is like a seed, and basically it's saying that if you live the teachings of Jesus Christ and allow those teachings to grow within you like a tree, it will bear fruit and you will see those fruits for yourselves. And what's wonderful about that is that you can hear me say this and think what James is saying is true, what James is saying is not true. But until you actually try it yourself and see what happens, you'll never really know. It's kind of like what we were talking about with autism and the screens not, for 2 weeks. You can take our word for it, but at the end of the day, until you do it, I don't think you'll ever truly know for yourself. So try it.
And sometimes, as well, it's actually fine to lean on other people's faith. You know, if you are ever at a point where you're not sure, but let's say you know someone that has a lot of faith or seems like they have a lot of faith and you look up to them, well, trust them. Like, trust them for a time. Not saying it has to be like that for forever, but trust them for a time, and actually, until you come to your own conclusions, until you come to your own understanding and your own faith, you can lean on other people. Like, that's why we have like families and friends. You know, I felt we're in a blessed position that we do have people within our lives that we could lean on if needed. But I think sometimes it's fine to do that, is what I'm saying. Is it's not an uncommon thing either. I think it's it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Because even if you have had something that you've had a lot of faith in for your whole life, there can be times in your life that might seem a bit scary, might seem a bit confusing, and actually can bring you a step back and sometimes maybe make you question some things, or if something doesn't quite make sense. And that's the perfect time to lean on someone else, or to lean on how you'd previously felt. So I think it's so good to write things down sometimes, isn't it? Because you won't always remember specific details, but you will always remember how you felt. Like, I can't remember our wedding day perfectly, but I remember how I felt. I know. But I remember how I felt at the time. And even like, you know, being a teenager, going on camps with people from our church that had the same faith and beliefs as us. I don't remember those camps perfectly. You know, I was there for like 5 days, but I always remember how I felt on the testimony meetings by the bonfire. Like that's just always stuck with me. And sometimes if you ever get to a place where you are questioning something or you're worried about something, actually it's sometimes really good to go back to the point or to remember those feelings that you felt so clearly from the past. Like, I think that's why they're there. I feel like those moments that we have are actually embedded in our soul somewhere, and the spirit reminds us of those feelings for times of trouble.
Yeah, second that. That's really good advice.
So risk taking is good. It's not negative.
Yeah.
And it also relates a lot to faith. So an experience that I had today when I took the kids to Tesco for the dreaded mini food shop.
Just after Christmas, because everything's shut and then it's open and then it's Tuesday, no it's Saturday, no it's...
So we were leaving and we were just heading to the car, and in front of us was an elderly gentleman who looked like he was really struggling to walk. So he was walking incredibly slow, sort of leaning on his trolley, going up to his car, and turns out we were parked right next to each other. And I was getting the kids in the car, and that's always a faff because the baby never wants to go in the car seat, and the older two have like bought cookies and they're asking for it, and you're throwing it at them and trying to get them in car seats, and it was just a bit of a faff. Anyway, this gentleman started putting some shopping into his boot, and he was doing it, fairly normal speed, I'd say. And I had a thought to ask him if he would like me to help him pack his shopping. And I convinced myself that I shouldn't. And the only reason I did that was because I thought, I don't really want to offend him. Like, he's obviously struggling. Like, he was really struggling to walk. But I didn't want to offend him because he was doing okay with it. And, I don't know. It's probably not nice, is it? You're a grown man, but you're struggling to do normal tasks, and for someone to sort of point it out. All these things were going through my head, and I somehow convinced myself that I shouldn't actually offer to help him because he seemed like he was doing okay. Eventually, I'd finished putting the kids in the car, and I had then had a thought to offer to take his trolley and put his trolley back for him. And I thought, it's just weird that I keep having these thoughts, so maybe I'll just ask him. And I asked him if I could help him put his trolley back, and he said, he just said, yes, please. And I put his trolley back for him, and then I sort of watched him get in the car. It's going to make me feel a bit emotional now. I watched him get in the car, and he was really, really struggling just to get in the car. He was like using his, walking stick to sort of shut it. And I felt really bad because I could have helped him more. I could have actually put his shopping away. My kids actually would have been fine, but I ignored a prompting. And it made me realise that actually there's a talk that I think Elder Bednar speaks about from years ago, and I can't remember which one it was. But he says, if you have a good thought, just do it. Don't overthink it and don't question, is it the spirit, isn't it the spirit? If it's actually something good, what's the harm? Just do it. Just help someone else. Anyway, on the way back home, obviously felt awful because I just felt like I could have helped him more. And I was just thinking about this man and just thinking about, actually, I don't know the circumstances of his life, but I could very clearly see that he was struggling to walk. And walking's a very basic thing that we all do and we all need to do to get around. I mean, obviously there's other ways that people can, wheelchairs and etc. But it's something that I guess we can just take for granted. Something as small as that, just, being able to walk. And I expressed this to our middle child because she was asking about why I'd helped him with his trolley, and just actually how we should be grateful for the fact that we can walk. We said a prayer for him in the car. It was actually really special, and she suggested that. So she suggested that we should just pray for him because I was obviously feeling, a bit sad for him. But it's just made me realise how important it is to listen to promptings, to not ignore them. Like, that was such a simple thing. Why didn't I just help him? Why didn't I actually just help him with his shopping? I overthought it and ended up convincing myself that I shouldn't, and pretty quickly regretted that decision. Now, would it have changed his life? No. But if I've been prompted to do it, why didn't I do it? What I'm trying to say is that we should be very grateful for the little things that we have in life, because it can be very easy to complain. I am a complainer, and it can be very easy to complain about things that happen in life. But actually, we should be really grateful for the little things that we've got in lives and the very basic things that we probably don't think about all the time. And if we ever receive promptings, Or if we're not sure if it's prompting and it's a good thought, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've thought about that old man all day. That experience has impacted my testimony of promptings and of the pure love that Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ must actually have for us, especially for people that are finding life tough.
I think that's a nice thing to leave it on. Just if you feel prompted to do something good, just do it. And we'd love to hear what happens.
Yeah, let us know. Comment below and let us know. But until next time, we're going to be trying to do this pretty frequently with our episodes.
Yes, we'll see how we get on. Kids, are you listening? Oh, no, they're asleep. Shh.
I was going to say, but we do have young kids, and sometimes life just feels a bit manic. So that's the end of episode 2.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.